Hey there, Shrine Runners! Hello, and welcome to the Fox Shrine. I'm Araxis, your host, and tonight we're going to be playing some more Limbus Company. Hey there, Kuro. Hey, Ada. Welcome. Hope you're doing alright. I'm doing pretty good. I had a fairly relaxing day today. Didn't have my tabletop game that I like semi-regularly play today. But I did get to start on some Path of Exile 2. I did end up buying that after watching a playthrough of it. Thought it looked pretty cool, and yeah, it's fun. If you're sort of like the action RPG Diablo style like gameplay, yeah, it's really fun. Though it definitely heats my PC up, that's for sure. I was like, this feels rather warm. I better turn the air conditioning up a little bit. Anyway, hopefully tonight we will be able to finish the Limbus Company event. We did get into a rather tough fight with Don last time we played. So hopefully the game's not going to throw more of that at us, because that was scary. Even the Red Gaze struggled with Don, it looked like. Alright, let's go, shall we? Okay. Do let me know how the audio is. I did finish this sloth mission over here. Basically, all that required was putting in a friend support Merceau. That's bloody level 50. I was going to put in a level 50 sync association, but I didn't find any of that. So I ended up going with the Dieci Merceau, who was like absolutely fine. So apparently both of these guys are good for that. Also, hey there, Mirror. How you going? Alright, so let's go, shall we? Just have a story event over here, so let's go. You're my flesh to claim their bones rerun next week, huh? Alright. I might consider streaming that. Because I haven't actually streamed the Yield My Flesh to Claim Their Bones event. Well, Intervallo before, so we'll think about it. We definitely had a lot of people coming in for this one after all. Both regular viewers and new viewers. So, I was thinking of wondering if I want to like go back and do the other stuff that I've already done, just so that people can like catch up on the story. We'll see what people think anyway. Anyway, let's go. So, the hierarchy. Let's see what's going on. Guess we'll find out a bit more about Limbus Company here, hopefully. Well, now that that's over and done with, I would like the sinners to come gather around here. Hohenheim placed the sinners in a single file before him and began. Yes, I did. I was just talking about that earlier. I did that with Multi-Crack Faust, Liu Gregor, and a friend support of Merceau, specifically Dieci. Apparently Sync Merceau is also good for that one. Also, Solemn Lament, the ego for Gregor is good for that as well. Anyway, hey, let's not insult my boy Greg. He's a good boy. All right. Now, the regular checkup is complete. We finally have enough data to compare your pre-employment statuses to those of your current selves. Which means... indeed. we were able to measure your pre-employment combat capabilities as well. Yeah, Gregor does admittedly get a bit of a short end of the stick. I have heard that Edgar Air Gregor is alright. I know that some people sort of suggested using him for the sloth thing. I don't have him, unfortunately. But yeah, let's go. At the very least, Solemn Lament Ego is really good. And his G-Corp support passive is pretty good for some passive healing on the squad. Alright. Oh ho. And what are your conclusions? Allow me to preface this by saying that there isn't much significance in establishing this particular hierarchy of power on a linear scale. Like I said, you are all equally mediocre at the present state anyway, and... Oh, there's plenty of significance, alright. We all gotta know who's the big boss. It's probably done. Let's be real, okay? You have him, he can clash, but he does one hit, around 15 damage. That's a shame. Well, alright, literally, Dante is the manager, but physically, they are not all that powerful. Not that we've seen Dante fight or anything. Dante sort of hangs in the back because, if Dante dies, and no one else can be resurrected, but we'll hear from Hohenheim, shall we? While this is but speculation of the worst-case scenario, we must know which one of us has the most right and authority to lead the rest of the sinners in case our executive manager becomes, due to some unknown yet inexorable circumstances, unavailable. You brought Pirate Greg for some damage for that stage. Okay. I'm not sure if I've got Pirate Greg. At the very least, if I do have Pirate Greg, he is not leveled. Hey, that's... I don't listen to anyone weaker than I am. What if there was a reason I was the first one asked to introduce himself? The reason was because you had the first counter. There was a burgeoning interest among the sinners to see which one of them would be at the apex of this scale, were they to be measured by their strengths prior to their employment. Hey, maybe before I lost my memories, even I... Dante, don't. Kurobachi's, I think they anticipated what you were theorizing there. Can't believe that we're getting new IDs next week again. Ooh. Yes, Kat mentioned that we're getting the Yield My Flesh voiced version, I believe, which would be quite cool. That was an interesting event. Although I remember when I first came back to Limbus after a hiatus, I ran into Bamboo Hatted Kim in the Mirror Dungeon, and he inflicted some trauma on me. I admit. He defeated me in the Mirror Dungeon. Kurokuma Captain Ishmael and Heathcliff. Nice to have some more Kurokuma characters. Interesting that free triple naught or SSR, whatever. Because I do remember people saying that, well, not people saying, I remember that the Project Moon was saying that they sort of wanted to focus more on the 3 stars rather than the 2 stars. Anyway, I'm personally not really scared of Jun. Like, yeah, Jun is a little bit tricky, like in mirror dungeons, but he doesn't like inflict terror into me. Kim is really bad if you happen to be going like sinking or something like that. It is interesting how every collective has the desire to get the clear picture of the pecking order. It's actually a Library of Ruiner reference there, where Roland was talking about it's really important to be able to classify people with like the different level fixes and all that, just so that everyone knows where you stand. A negative expression of this desire may even lead to juvenile behaviors among children. For example, stealing their colleagues' lunches for meager reasons such as scoring higher than they did on a test. You're not speaking from personal experience, are you? Thus, I believed that trying to conceal the outcome of the test from you would be quite meaningless. Each of your placements in that line you were standing in signifies that very order you were so curious to know. I do not wish to waste any more breath on this subject. There was a long, long silence. Then the sinners all simultaneously turned to look at the person standing in the frontmost position of the line. This has to be the longest, most awkward, most loaded silence I've ever felt in my life. Much did I wish to hold shrouded in my fathoms, yet I learn still to convey that we are all more than meets the eye. Yet there remains a certain abundance within my heart. Perhaps the tests of this day paint a picture of both of my qualities. Thus spoke I, Yi-san. Yi-san? I will place trust in the faith that all of you shall one day sprout wings as I have. Yi-san? It's the other way around. Yi-san's weaker than Sinclair? Alright. Ah, yes. Line was made from my point of view. What I want is their jacket drip on their normal looks. The jackets are nice, though I do like their standard Limbus, like LCB attire as well. What would be the best way to sort of like refer to the rarities then, Sylvain? If we don't want to call them 3 stars. Like obviously you can render it with the 3 zeros, but like how would you verbally say it? From here, the setter wielding that oversized lance is the one at the front of this line. Yeah, as I said, done. Well, you said some cool words, though. We got this, right, Isan? 000? That's the emergency number for Australia. If you need to call like the hospital or something. Well, 'tis quite the bashful occasion. Ahem. To be the centre of such fervent attention of one such company. I wouldn't say fervent is the right word. Worried, maybe? I shall be vigilant. No one seemed to have any objections or doubts about who the strongest sinner was, given the earlier event. On second thought, it appears it would be best if we left the command to Ishmael as we have done so far. Otis mumbled through gritted teeth. Forsooth, I am in agreement. I am more partial to roles as a defending fixer or a squire. 'Tis oft the case that such side characters enjoyed greater popularity since time immemorial. Don is indeed correct here. Very happy to see this discussion not coming to blows. Now, are we all ready to move on from this? Wait a minute. Are we all forgetting something pretty important? That's just how the world works, Greg. No one remembers anyone between the first place and the last place. I even forgot my own placement in the order. We're not gonna break it down then, I see. No, I mean, fellas, I wasn't even a part of the list. Oh, were you not? Who cares, mate? There's 12 of us. Some people just fall out of the radar. Big deal. Let's just get on with it. Hey, you can't just disregard me swatting away a fly. I'd guess somewhere around my level, probably. Or Heathcliff's. Poor Gregor. Getting forgotten again. It's alright, you can be my short king. Ishmael replied in a voice that had clearly lost all interest in that discussion. In this discussion, rather. Ah, you're the sinner with that bizarre insectoid arm. We had no choice but to place you in the least favorite category for all researchers. Exceptions. The events of Canto 7, he was the mascot. Okay, being at least he got something, right? Mascot's an important role. Just look at Pom Pom in Star Rail, right? Everyone loves the mascot. You mean Charon for Limbus Company? Oh, it's spoilers for Canto 7. There's something that happens in there, and Gregor gets to be a mascot for a little bit. It's all in good fun. As I said, like I might consider streaming the Cantos that I haven't streamed, like at a later date. So, hey, how you going here? Hope you're doing all right. Like if I were to do so, I'd obviously be doing it with like my current account. So like it would be going over, like it would be over leveled for them certainly. But the story's what most people are here for, right? They really hate that, huh? In other words, you are a unique case that cannot well be placed in a list or a scale. To do so would be irresponsible. I'd say you carry a certain potential. Oh, he's potential man. Congratulations, Gregor. You are now potential man. This role was previously belonged to Sunshower Heathcliff. It is now granted to you. That potential, is it? Does that mean I could also be first place if all goes well? Oh, heavens no. It could very well be the reverse, given the definition of potential. Poor Gregor. Let not this query harrow your mind, Gregor. Your day will come. You saw an edit which just photoshopped Greg's on Sunshower. Nice. Feels funny getting consoled by the guy who placed last. Okay. New classifications, huh? Well, I think we're about to like hit the finale as well. New classification codes. This is something they've been teasing for a while, so I'm curious to see what's going to go on here. Because obviously they've just been using the old Lobotomy Corporation classifications. After some time passed, next, we must discuss the classification numbers. We have been assigning risk levels for distortions, just as we have for abnormalities. The observation logs you have written for us were of great help, of course. My researchers struggled to pass the handwriting of certain sinners, however, but it was all good data, all the same. We once had a 3-hour debate over a letter. AEDD. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that looks like AEDD, doesn't it? AEDD ID incoming? At some point? Perhaps? Even the bloody governess gave up on trying to fix my handwriting. Heathcliff grinned proudly and wiped the side of his nose. As you must all be well aware, the current system of classification numbers has a rather significant oversight. Because abnormalities were creations of the former L Corp, our classification system had to be lifted whole from their system. However, the criteria by which the former L Corp measured the risk levels was the amount of their energy production. Yeah, if you remember... And what about Army of Black? What about Army in Black, Hohenheim? That is not a fucking Zayan! This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. As a correlation of sorts, it was often the case that the more aggressive abnormalities produced more energy. But their destructive capabilities were not a part of the criteria despite the correlation. I know Army is a Baka abnormality, but my point stands, okay? That one was classified as a Zayan. So L Corp took some L's in the past, I get it. Oh man, L Corp took so many L's in the past. It took... it canonically took them like resetting time and space in order to get past all of their L's. Anyway. How you going, Sophie? That is why certain abnormalities were assigned relatively lower risk levels, despite their potential to kill even multiple higher-ranking employees. They were an energy company at the end of the day. It makes sense that their priority would be to measure the energy output. However, here, both abnormalities and distortions must be suppressed via direct confrontation. Thus, the former L Corp's classification system is rather incongruent with our purposes. I once heard someone say that we should be wary of people who drone on and on in the intro. Thus, it became necessary for us to reorganize the distortion's risk levels and classification codes. Wow, how interesting! So whose job is that going to be? Healthcare system meetings today, classified as U or well, all the best with that, Sophie. I am rather taken aback by the naivete with which that you asked me that question. Us. It's us. Sinners without the right to refuse, was it? Wait a sec. You just uploaded your work onto us? A privilege given to researchers. Oi, oi! Don't be so ignorant, yeah? This is all just in order to research the distortions, right? We got the other way around system. We've got to do research into distortions in order to solve them better. It's elementary shite. Owenheim's really got you wrapped around his finger, you know that? According to the LCD on-site investigative reasoning team leader, the progression of a distortion is much like that of a disease. The fate of an abnormality awaits at the end of the distortion phenomenon, after all. When a distortion progresses into an abnormality, all pre-existing individuality is erased, replaced with the totality of an abnormality. So a distortion can turn into an abnormality. They are just similar to abnormalities. In which case, if they can turn into an abnormality, then that means they would become like indestructible, because abnormalities turn into eggs and then respawn. Alright. Thus, it is impossible to bring back a distortion that has already transformed into an abnormality. It will no longer have that reversibility that they once had in the distortion phase. Yeah, as we know, people who distort can actually return back to normal. We see this with like the partial distortions in Library of Ruiner. So, distortion like that Time Ripper fellow will eventually become an abnormality too, if left untouched. If you are referring to the subject He7PI2001, then yes. Abnormalities distort into eggs and then get reborn. But enough about transitioning. Egg jokes. They can be fun. This is simply a prediction, of course, because that particular subject isn't contained here. I cannot say with absolute certainty that its progression into an abnormality will be observed. A correct assessment. Oh? Didn't Limbus Company collect the Time Ripper? We hoped we would, but T-Corp was very adamant about their claim over the entity, to the point where they refused to even sit at the negotiation table. I found their time-ripping ability quite fascinating, but sometimes I must know when to cut my losses, I suppose. If they do a Time Ripper rerun, we'll also do that on stream for people. Wait, so the E-something is the new classification code format? Indeed. Because it is difficult to identify and observe the origin and the shape of a distortion, we decided to forego that information and instead replace them with their sin affinities and the expected damage scale. Sin affinities. PI must refer to Pigretia, fluff. It appears that the classification now mimics the classification of the Picatula. They do indeed follow the same thought process, if we're being technical here. I wouldn't say it mimics it. It would be more accurate to say that, as the Picatula are at once the origins of the distortion phenomena and its byproducts, the affinities can be transferred one-to-one. What's the expected damage scale? Combat capability, I'm guessing. I remember them saying that the risk levels were determined based on the encephalon production rates, which is not the most meaningful information to us who have to fight them directly. It was a tad inconvenient to put a nebulous idea like combat capabilities into a singular numerical scale of power. Certain entities have idiosyncrasies and variables that may make such a linear measure quite meaningless. So, instead, we decided to measure the expected amount of damage that Limbus Company personnel might suffer should they engage these entities in battle. While this Time Ripper possesses very little threat against the Sinners due to your idiosyncrasies, the unique nature of their weapon means that they can immediately deal a nigh fatal blow to anyone from the LCC department with a single strike. That is why this distortion was given the rather high expected damage scale of 6, from a scale of 1 to 10. Please do note that this is not a perfect system, and these values are there only as references. Will this standard be applied to abnormalities as well? Oh, let me just double check on what they said the Time Ripper's numbers were. So, go back up here. Where's the 6 then? I see a 7 there. There a mistake? I don't know. We have plans to do so, yes. Risk levels and expected damage scales will be coming before their classification codes. Speaking of which, I have something to show you all. What is it? Oh, let me close that. What else other than the monolith? One with the highest potential values among Limbus Company's businesses. Thus, the development of transportation, management, and processing methodologies of the monolith is a glowing achievement indeed. Oh, and if indeed the To Claim My Bones event is on the way, then I suppose I get to show off the monolith to people, because that directly involves it. I guess it makes sense why they chose to focus on that event then. The artifact, by its very nature, poses a great danger. I hesitate to embrace its use so willingly. A great danger? Wouldn't you say that we are beset by danger at all times? We do live in the city, after all. It's supposed to be HE6. Okay, so that is indeed a mistake. Someone should probably report that one to Project Moon so they can correct that typo. The arbitrariness in deciding how dangerous something is comes from the degree to which it poses a risk. As you must already know, the monolith here is a device that can force a distortion. It is scattered throughout the city, just like the Golden Bough, at first only in possession of the fingers and the syndicates of the backstreets, to now being collected by companies both large and small and nameless, like a plague. We also learn that they have become rather high priority targets for some wings out there. As luck would have it, we managed to begin our research, expedition, and collection of the monoliths much earlier than the others. Now, we are already at the stage in which we may partake in the processing and the sale of these artifacts, expanding our business ventures. You could say that we narrowly avoided the very unsavory fate of having to tussle with the wings for the possession of these artifacts. Because we may have had to confront the wings directly were that the case. Yeah, that would not be good. Asking out of pure curiosity here, what would happen if we were ever assigned a city threat level? Ishi, how about we don't ask questions we don't ever want to find out the answer to? I mean, what if we, due to some contractual shenanigans, end up going against the associations? I think it'd be a good thing to know ahead of time, just in case. Seems like a question worth entertaining to me. Let's see. From Canard to Star of the City, I suppose your assignment will be somewhere between Urban Plague and Urban Nightmare. There we go. That's not too bad. Not SOC yet, are we? No, definitely not Star of the City. That's a fairly good level. Don't poo-poo it. It almost sounds as if you want to be given a threat level. It is true that you, upon first sight, due to your revival powers and the potential of the identity technology, may appear to pose a rather troublesome risk. However, you have a very clear and obvious weakness. Indeed, all of our advantages will be moot upon the manager's death. Hohenheim slowly turns around to look at me, prompting Faust and the other sinners to follow suit. And we have theorized that there may be some things out there that might prevent turning back the clock. Won't spoil those, or for people who haven't sort of like gotten to that point in the game. But yeah. Hey there, Bacon Boy. I'm doing quite well. Hope you are as well. What if we protected them, though? I am impressed by your optimism, given the kinds of enemies you have faced thus far. We don't even need to go so far back in time to discuss the incidents with the Fixer Siegfried, or Big Brother Ricardo I heard from your reports. Should the third sinner suddenly seek to attack the manager with her full might, do you truly believe that the rest of you would be enough to protect them? Yeah, all of those threats would 100% be able to take down Dante. What if we protected them? Yeah, right? There are absolutely a lot of things that can harm Dante, that would be able to get through you guys. As awesome as you guys are. No. The flow of this world is that the manager will be preserved, that no such thing may come to pass. Enough, Hohenheim. Any further divulgence, and Faust will open a disciplinary committee to discuss the consequences of your careless words. Oh, what was that? The flow of this world is that the manager will be preserved, that no such thing may come to pass. So, what you're saying is, I'm indestructible. No, don't, Dante. I mean, the slightest breeze would... Indestructible. Alright. Not there yet, are we? Very well. Whichever is the case, you do have the potential to become a Star of the City threat at some time in the future. But do remember that it would be best if you could avoid that unfortunate designation. And please, don't forget that that is only true so long as you have Limbus Company's backing. That's some interesting information there. So, the final checkup. Alright, so just need to enter here, suppress dungeon boss. Alright, so we can just do that now. I have no need to hold on to that anymore. Less Star of the City, the better. Don't need any more reminders about Zhao. I still get hunted down by the associations. Alright. Hold on, let me, Alright, so yeah, yeah, I did pick up, you, didn't I? I should probably include you in here. Hold on, if we're going to be including you, let me just quickly double check my sin affinities for going forward, because I normally have Yi-Sung involved. So if I were to deploy 6 sinners...
준비되었습니다.
제 차례인 나를 불렀나?
이번 의뢰는 몇 발이나 들고 가야 하냐?
Oh no, we're all good. Alright, so...
전가요? 다들 연장? 전가요? 전가요? 전가요?
Yeah, I might go with you then. There we go. Probably don't need it, but would you want me to send a friend request so you can see... I mean, you can send a friend request. Normally, I don't use friend IDs. Honestly, normally I forget about friend IDs. The only time I've recently used one was for the sloth thing. Yeah, the only thing I needed to do really was get in a Merceau ID because, like, as you can see, I don't really have... Oh, hold on, I have Diechi? I need to fucking level up Diechi Merceau, because Diechi Merceau is actually really good. I did use a support Diechi Merceau to get through that. I didn't have any sync IDs showing up. I would have used one of them, but I'm glad I used the Diechi one. Could borrow... I'm missing sync, certainly. Let's just add you anyway. I'm always happy to add more friends. Get out of here. Friend. Add a friend. There we go. Ah, a Don fan. Lovely. Rupture's definitely in a little bit of an odd spot. I noticed that I sort of understand where PM is coming from, because Rupture is essentially true damage. Therefore, it is able to get through a lot of mechanics that reduce damage. So I can see why that they want to... Not as much that I'm a Don fan, or that I hate the least out of everyone. Oh, you don't like the sinners? You think they're all horrible people? I wonder... How could you think that all the sinners are horrible people, right? It's not like they're called sinners or anything. Alright. Or that they get on... can get on my nerves sometimes. Does anyone have the... No one on my list really has the Yoshu ID, I don't think. Wasn't Contempt, or was it? No. That's a spiral. No. Over there. Do I want to use like a support fire? That's fine. Whatever, I'll just stick with this. This is fine. Heathcliff is the entire reason the Ricardo fight happened. I only lost once on that fight. Second time through, I managed to work out the trick to it, and it was okay. Though, yeah, a lot of other people like have had to redo that one like a dozen times or something. Ricardo is a thing. I did it properly, actually. I did it properly with the with clashing. With avoiding clashes and going for the one-directional attacks, and using some people who were more resistant to blunt. Anyway, this should be good. I'm tempted to sort of level you up. Oh yeah, his skill names are just really long. It's all just one long run-on sentence. The type it in. Okay. I'll at least hold on. What's your support passive? When one ally with the least HP is killed, I mean, I should hope that they're the one with the least HP, right? Gain 2 ego resources for 2 ego least earned resources. Nah, I'm not going to borrow a Faust. Like, I do have the Ada Blossom over there. Maybe... Hold on. Yellow, blue, and red. Let me check. Yellow, blue, and red. I take you out. Okay, yeah, I'll still have yellow available.
준비되었습니다.
Let's do it. Reload. Yeah, but she's gone now. Where are we? You're not max level. Yep. I don't know. I do like how like people have sort of gone with like the regret Faust. I just like Kai over there. That does look quite nice. Maybe I'll have to do that. Hold on, go away. Like freaking FGO, right? Oh, here we go. Okay, yep, you got Fluid Sac. All good. Let's bring you along. I did want to see what Ada Blossom Star Faust is like, so let's go. Finding it rather entertaining that you didn't see your Faust once in any of that. Alright, so I'm happy with this. Let's go. Yeah, it's, Lantern Yi Sang is an outlier and should not be counted.
불로 정화하고 깨끗한 세계를 세우라.
We are almost done with the regular checkup. Yeah, I do know she blows up. I'll probably like keep her in the last slot because of that. I still haven't done the mystery dungeon this week. Finally, we have a chance for you to overcome an adversity based on what you have learned thus far. And for me to prove my hypothesis. What hypothesis is he talking about? No need to worry. My hypotheses have never been wrong. Most of the time. Yeah. He's right all of the time, 90% of the time. This experiment is entirely of my own design and supervision. And I will faithfully follow my own pure curiosities and instincts as a researcher. Guys, I have a feeling we're not gonna like where this goes. Now, do you see this monolith here? Yep, I do. It's a monolith, all right. But... don't you worry. My researchers will be the ones to activate the artifact. Oh, let's sit up straight. Thank you, Bacon. Alright. Honestly, I might do some mystery dungeons at work. That's an efficient use of my time. Activate the artifact. Not on you. Relax. I understand that none of you would be willing participants to this experiment. I swear, if you're going to force us to distort, saying that we have no right to refuse or something, I'm gonna... Oh, yeah, hang on. I can't let you do that, even as your assistant. Yes, but if you must, we are willing to send the weakest sinner among us for... Oh, Otis, always willing to sacrifice others. No, Yi-Sang. Yi-Sang is the weakest sinner. Yet I said that. That was foolish of me to say. I will be the subject of the experiment myself. Look, we don't need to sacrifice anyone. I know that you're, like, more than willing to send wave and wave up of your own men at the problem. And I know that, like, it is a sacrifice you were willing to make, but it's not a sacrifice I am willing to make, okay? So, settle down there, Miss Wargrimes. You're going to distort yourself? Am I hearing you right? Aren't you curious to see what kind of distortion you'd end up becoming? I'm sure this is a question you have all entertained at least once. He's not wrong. I've thought about it. No. I ain't curious. It ain't a pleasant experience either. Stop gritting your teeth like that, assistant. It will have an adverse effect on your long-term dental health. But Limbus Company does have a very good dental plan. What if you just end up turning into a picatulum? You could end up becoming a picatulum. Just another one of the fodder we slaughtered our way through for the tests earlier. You're risking that? It is indeed a possibility. It would signify nothing more than my very own limitations. I'm getting flashbacks of Sampo here in Canto 4. We're just gonna take a little swim for a moment. Let's just take a swim, shall we? Just a mediocre shell. If such an incident comes to pass, these employees will transport me to a containment unit. We even made a bet on what kind of picatulum I would turn into. Yes. He bet on Goulet. I on Invidier, and her on Picatrie. But How could you? I mean, at the very least, he's not like experimenting on like interns or like Class D personnel or anyone else. He's experimenting on himself. This is better, right? Think about it like this. If I were to become a Picatula, it would be akin to losing at a game of chance. Of course, what counts as a loss may depend on what I, at that precise time, considered to be losing. The mere fact of turning into a Picatulum grieves me of any value to life. I'd say he was being too hard on himself, but that felt like too simple an expression to describe his tone. The company would most likely attempt to transport me to a containment unit, but I disagree with that decision. I would like to ask you to dispose of me on the spot. I am well aware that I'm not the kind of congenial person who earns others' favor at first meetings, if at all. I also don't believe that our brief relationship has been the most amicable kind. Therefore, I see little reason why you would hesitate to cut me down. Of course, sinners with gentle hearts like this young Sinclair here may express certain distaste against this decision. We'll take a brief break over here before we throw Hohenheim into the monolith, I guess. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes to see how this goes, shall we? Alright, be back shortly. All right, we have returned. Let's get back into the mad experiments, shall we? I'm just gonna the AC on a little bit and a little bit warm. Okay. Of course, sinners with gentle hearts like this young Sinclair here may express certain distaste against this decision. But once I become a Pecaculum, it may as well mean that Hohenheim, the entity, has ceased to be. So, I hope no unnecessary emotions like guilt clouds your judgment in killing the Pecaculum. A mere byproduct. But what if something unexpected happens? We're talking about your life here. Don't you have any manuals with backup plans, or... This is a very simple matter. Nothing more than a coin flip. Heads or tails. It appears that you are still insisting on your absurd 50-50 theory. I mean, I'm with Faust here. I don't think it's a 50-50 thing on whether you become a Pecaculum or a distortion. Just because there's two choices doesn't mean that it's 50-50. Could be a variety of reasons which affect why someone becomes one or the other. And it could heavily skew it in one direction. And considering we've got more Pecaculum out there rather than distortions, I would say it's probably closer to like 90-10 in favor of Pecaculum. I am a researcher who wishes to humiliate the field of mathematical statistics, unlike the general lay of the academia. I believe there is a certain romanticism to research. It is much more exciting to run as many tests and gain as many samples as we can than to be stuck behind a desk poring day and night over books and paper, isn't it? So you're more of a practical researcher rather than a theoretical one, huh? If it's tails, then you may dispose of me immediately, and the employees here will take care of the rest. Don't forget to destroy the key inside that coat pocket, and the files inside my cabinets, for example. Yes, we remember. If I were to successfully distort, we would be halfway to success. My first time, I am feeling quite the envy for you all. I wish I could be a witness to my very own distortion. Suppose you can, like, record it, right? And if you manage to come back, then you could watch it. If you've been paying attention to my lectures, perhaps you could even come up with a classification code for my distortion too, going by the standards we have discussed earlier. Not that I have a very high expectation that you would. I've recently come to a realization that people nodding along to my words is not a signifier of comprehension, but instead an expression of societal niceties. The manager here will open the entrance to my dungeon of the Fathoms, and you will progress through the mirror dungeon, as you have always done when facing a distortion, to reach into its deepest fathoms to face my distortion once again. I wish you the best of luck in your suppression efforts. It's a section. And once you've made it that far, it is likely that you will find me unconscious. Or if luck would have it, conscious. Unconscious. Are you sure this is safe? A degree of case-by-case variance is to be expected. It may take some time for a full recovery, but it will happen should you succeed. That reminds me. That's how this bamboo-hatted Kim was brought back as well. Remember who wanted Kim? He's recovered? He is safely contained within our facilities. Ah, seems that they are ready to activate the monolith. I am confident that I, even as a distortion, will be quite the exceptional specimen. Hang on. Just like that? You're not a Picaculum. Indeed. And I can still hear them. Well, congratulations on your successful distortion then, Owenheim. Let it not be said that one such as yourself shies away from mad science. Yes, I remember. I still do. I know he'll be back, but gosh, this is pretty unnerving. Rax is trying not to help with the mad science mission impossible. Hey, Infernal. Look, mad science is important, okay? I love me some mad science. Oh, and Bacon Boy, thank you very much for the follow. I forgot to mention it there, but do appreciate it. Welcome to the Fox Shrine. Hope you enjoy your stay. Don't worry. We'll bring him back, no matter what. The manager says that we will bring him back, no matter what. Sure sounds like a dependable sort, this manager of yours. Very well. Please, take a look at this. Is this a note? Did he write tips on how to do this or something? He says that all you have to do is read what's on that note in front of his distortion. Apparently it's some kind of a code. Don't think he'll hear anything but ticking noises from me. Can you read this, Musso? It will be done as you commanded. Musso nodded, then began to read the words from the note aloud. Lobotomy Corporation. 5 minutes. Potentiality. Anticipation. Right hand. The moment Musso uttered them, the all-too-familiar portal began to appear around Hohenheim's distortion, as though they were a key to a door. Scattering shards of familiar yet alien sights appeared intermittently beyond the shimmering veil. Hohenheim had already entered the portal as we stood there gawking. He could still hear his voice echoing through the laboratory. Ah, nice one, Sophie. I suppose I'll be forced to share my past here. The past I never wanted to share. The past no one cares to learn about. We can get Angela out of there. Well, we've got Angela available as an announcer. And there's also the ending of Library of Ruiner to consider. I still don't actually know what happens right at the end. I've gotten... ever since I stopped streaming Ruiner, I did play more off stream, and I got through most of the game. I'm it's 2 more fights left before I finish, and I just haven't done them yet. The third last fight was a handful. It is something I must endure for the sake of this experiment. However, I needn't expose every little detail of it. Oh shit! It's the Lobcorp music! It's a slightly distorted version of Lobcorp music. It's all in the past now, anyway, isn't it? Maybe was Hohenheim a former Lord Corp researcher then, perhaps? Alright, so we've got our mystery dungeon over here. Need to get all the way over there. Alright. Well, let's go. Hohenheim's Fathoms. We're at the starting point of the Dungeon of the Fathoms. We found ourselves in a room that appears to be a workshop of ego gears. If you have scored below 100% synchronization rate in the aptitude test, take only a single ego from here. An ominous warning sign greets us all, and the same words repeat ceaselessly from the speaker. The sinners all go to take a look, enticed by the sign telling us that we can pick up ego gears here, but what we find there are ego gifts. These ain't ego gears, these are them gifts or something, right? Appears that ego are manifested here in the shape of ego gifts. Can't we just take them all? This is a dungeon of the Fathoms. As it differs from the usual mirror dungeons, it is highly advisable that its rules are followed. What should we do? Alright, so we can take the Flaming Gauntlet for a burn ego gift. We can take the combat boots with spiky bits on them for a rupture ego gift. Or we can take the Cleaning Solution Spray for a keywordless gift. While I may be using Ada Blossom Faust here, I'm not really using much in the way of rupture. I'm going to go with the keywordless. This one seems best suited for the situation we're in. We take the Illusory Hunt ego gift. Alright, so +2 damage up to all allies. There we go. Alright. Oh, let's go over here. And let's see. So, you, and then back up. There we go. I think this will work out nicely.
개체 유형 확인.
L Corp Branch Control Team. I do really like the Lobotomy Corporation music. Considering you're going to be hearing this music a lot in the game, like it's like you have to make sure that you got good music, right? And I think they succeeded. It's music that I could listen to, like, just a lot. What's going on with them? Good. It appears that I can censor these with my own will, at least to a degree. Your mission here is to classify my distortion, reach the end of this Dungeon of the Fathoms, and bring me back. Your mission, however, does not involve digging into my past. This is... It appears that we have a passing familiarity with this place. Us. What is it that they seek to convey? I don't believe any level of proper communication will be feasible, given that you are in a Dungeon of the Fathoms. Well, then do something about it. I regret to tell you that the setting of this dungeon is out of my hands. Had it been up to me, I would have manifested a place that was much more fascinating than this. Like that library, able to have every book in existence. You used to work for the Lobotomy Corporation? One of my past careers, yes. Us. Diplomacy did not seem to be an option here. The censored people brandished their weapons threateningly and stood in our path. Looks like I'm gonna have to take them down if we want to make any progress here. Tell me more about this library and are they hiring? In regards to the library, you have to have worked at least 50 days at Lobotomy Corporation HQ. But other than that, those are the only requirements to be hired there. It can't be helped. Let's get ready for a fight.
잭, 칼은 다 갈아놨지?
준비 완료.
Alright. Censored Lobotomy Corp L3 agent. Let's check these people out, shall we? Target does not have rupture, gain power, inflict rupture, and deal SP damage. If the target has 5 rupture, coin power up, and deal SP damage. They've got some healing as well, do they? Alright. It's your turn now. Alright, so they gain bonuses based on the amount of rupture that we have on us, so don't get rupture on us. Okay. On hit, heal 5 HP, 50% chance to inflict 1 bleed. And if this unit is targeted by 2+ units, gain protection, clash power up, and plus coin boost. Alright, so we want to be soloing these people where possible. After attack, target is either staggered or defeated. Raise unit's max HP by 20% for the max HP at encounter start. I mean, don't get staggered or defeated. If this unit failed to hit with its attack skills, raise speed and gain damage up. Combat start. Hold on. Gain fragile for every identity that targeted this unit. If all enemies attack this unit, attack weight +1. Gain offense level equal to the number of enemies. When this unit heals, heal. Alright. It's fine. Alright. That's not so fine there. Go with the counter on that.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
와, 저기 봐. 재료들이 걸어다니고 있네.
쟤들이 다 해치우면 편하게 들고 올 수 있겠어.
Here. That's a little bit more reliable there. It's not going so good. We will dodge that. Alright.
떨거지는 잘라낸다.
I don't think she dodged that.
효율적인 대처로 개체를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 발린 말 따위
God damn it,
쉽게
Faust.
하지 않아요.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
맞는 거야.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지. 그대로 두드려 패.
Okay. She can do that later, I guess. Let's go with that.
대가리 딱 떼도 내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다. 내 죄는
아까처럼만 해.
내가 알아서
그럼 이번
처리한다.
전투도 쉽게 갈 수 있을 거야.
Please stop burning yourself as well. Alright, so over here. Yes, we'll go there. We came across a group of researchers passionately poring over various documents. We could debate about two subjects: emotions and flames. Regular flames don't seem to hurt the abnormalities very much. So why does this work, I wonder? Perhaps a greater degree of wrathful emotions opens up the room for the fire's heat to touch abnormalities and distortions, both entities of the unknown. They must have noticed us listening in to their conversation intently. One of them approaches us with a glint in their eyes. Are you the sample who's agreed to this experiment? If so, try this on. In the researcher's hands were what looked like an ignition plug, or a testing machine of sort. Oh boy. Tally-ho! We're the samples. It might be something that'll help us anyway. Oh ho! What an interesting reaction! Decent synchronization rate as well. Maybe the researcher liked what they saw. After scribbling their observations into various papers, the researcher let Ryoshu go. Ryoshu took off the gear and presented it before the researcher to return it, but they simply shook their head in response. Oh, the gear seems to fit you perfectly. Take it with you. Reignition plug earned. Oh, healed.
애착을 갖고 들여다볼 가치가 있는
We
예술.
should have checked on other people. Oh well. So base attack skills that inflict burn, deal 20% more damage, inflict one more burn. Count. On hit, inflict defense level down. But then we use all base skills, inflict burn. Gain offense level up equal to the number of surviving turns, except for the turn they join the encounter. So that will help out Faust. Okay, let's go over there. And proceed.
대체 유형 확인.
So, how do we know this guy's actually distorted? He doesn't sound any different from his usual self. The sanity degradation due to distortion affects every subject differently. I mean, yeah, but censoring his own fathoms? But, Hohenheim, you're in a dungeon of the fathoms. We will see through it with Dante's powers, whether you want to show us or not. You make a fair assessment. How about this then? If you are to see them anyway, allow me to save you the trouble and give you a quick rundown instead. Come visit me as soon as you finish watching my tale. This tale began when that man walked into my laboratory. Yes, I had a personal laboratory all to myself. One of the few perks of being an elite researcher. This guy's just telling the story however he wants to, isn't he? I'm Mr. Hohenheim. Let me think. I don't quite remember what he looked like. something like this, perhaps? Yeah. Whichever is the case, I was planning to censor his appearance anyway. Hey, I wanted to talk to you about something. Stop. Are you here to express your displeasure with me? The what now? If you are, do let me know from the get-go. I had a feeling it was about time this would happen. 3 months. Not a bad record for working without a workplace conflict. Oh, if this is about quitting, then you would find a much better audience among the human resources team. No, I mean... just hear your spinal cords. Your spinal tap. I'm just here to thank you for picking me, some dude from the back streets, to work here. I heard it was you who made the hiring decision. I don't know how to put this, but you're the only one who saw my, what's the word? Yeah, my potential. You saw something that no one's cared to look into before. Know what I mean? Ah. Like, I was already sort of like doing a little bit of a Heathcliffy voice for this guy, but it seems like there's more to it. Like, again, like he's picking people who seem to be like on the rougher side of things. And it had nothing to do with something so grandiose like his potentiality. A wing does not hire people from the back streets for something so insignificant. While this information has never been publicly available, Lobotomy Corporation's primary criterion was trauma. Candidates with horrible, insurmountable trauma were often favored by the company. And in an indirect way, it was only natural that they would begin to favor candidates who originate from the back streets. Your greetings are acknowledged, Jimmy. Now, feel free to leave my office. I ain't Jimmy. Anyways, I've been meaning to ask, Mr. Hohenheim, why do you always enjoy being alone? It may come as a surprise to you, but I am very adept at spending my time all on my own. It is one of the hundreds of distinguishing features that set me apart from ordinary men. Stay. Don't you need someone to be like your, loyal right-hand man? My right hand is doing just fine, thank you very much. Oh, Hohenheim. Do you believe in potentialities, Hohenheim? What an unrelentingly stubborn employee he was, even in hindsight. Thanks to you, I do. And I've been thinking, if I keep at it, one day I might even find myself living at large in a nest, changing my world little by little. Kinda like for a thing like me managed to snag a position here at Lobotomy Corporation. So, I'm thinking here that I want to stick around in your circle. To bring about such drastic changes to one's life is in the realm of feasibility for an exceptional researcher like myself, indeed. But you are, like most of the rabble, painfully average in most qualities, and therefore unlikely to be the moving force in that change. I have no faith in universal things like potentialities. I have faith in myself and myself alone. Besides, I am not very partial to mathematical statistics like the probability theory anyway. Starting to think that Hohenheim might just have a touch of autism. There's definitely several characters that I would say have a touch of autism in this game. Musso, as I said, comes to mind immediately for that. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Canto 3, but like a lot of people talk about like Sinclair's story like being a bit of a metaphor for trans people. So they sort of theorize that Sinclair might be a trans man or a trans woman, like based on the content of the story there. Like the metaphor being that Canto 3 I was talking about Sinclair's like deal with his family, and like how they were like urging him to become like a full-body robot, like the rest of them and the other people in town, and he was not sort of into that sort of like change in his body and all. So and I suppose like Dawn also has her obsession with fixes as well, which is a little bit of a like an autism sort of trait, I guess. The creator of the director of the company has gone through like some trauma of his own. He's like talked about in an interview. Mostly, I won't sort of like go into the details of it because I'll probably get some of it wrong. People can sort of like look that up if they want. But yeah. He has said that The Stranger is one of his favorite books. So, I would like to keep both my right and left hands as my own. Have a nice day. Wanna know something about me? I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really think about things. Action before deliberation. You get me? Thoughtless and carefree. Possibly the only merit to be found in those who originate from the back streets. Or was that a thinly veiled threat of physical assault? No, I'm talking about the new Abno that just got shipped here. Why is it going to be 41 degrees tomorrow? Because it is summer in Australia, and global warming is a thing. I don't want it to be 41 degrees tomorrow. It's a tricky one to manage, I'll tell you what. Reads your mind. Screwing up all kinds of strategies or whatever, as long as it's based on hard logic. Wanna shoot for the Department of the Year award? Together? You seem to be rather skilled in the art of transactions. One of the few merits found in those who originate from the back streets. I will admit, I suppose I was overcome by a certain ennui back then. And in hindsight, it was foolish of me to engage in such inane conversations. You let us... remnants of my past come to haunt us. Perhaps it is I whom they truly wish to hurt. I gotta try and fix up fast here.
대부분 분야에서 저는 최고의 성능을 내는 AI지만 응원은 조금 더 준비 시간이 필요합니다. 공감의 영역은 잘 쓰지 않았던 기능이라 일단 먼지를 털어내야 하거든요.
Yeah, Beth can do a little bit of healing off of this.
딱 떼고. 기다려.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지. 뚜렷해.
무지하니까.
And got the heads on that as well, which is good. That should help with your SP.
적확한 하나.
There we go. House is back up and running, hopefully. Yeah, mutilate will be fun there. I gotta get some doubles going on. Oh, which one's your big one anyway? It's drawn by flame, but when does that one activate? At 30 burn. Gotcha.
해체 억압 진행하겠습니다.
뭐가 내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리.
이외에 특별히 첨언할 이유도 없군.
맞는 거야.
잘 썰렸다.
너무 쉽군요.
깔끔한 절단력인걸?
유효타 좋아.
내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리.
너무 쉽군요.
Wish I could chain like
너무
infinitely.
과했는데.
맞아.
That'd be fun.
살살해. 그러다 뼈라도 부서지면 파이 속에서 뼈가 씹힐 거라고.
It's finally here. The Department of the Year award. Indeed. I have finally done it. With some minor assistance from you, of course, and some other employees. Come on, admit it. Don't you notice that a lot more employees are saying hello, good morning, and what have you to you in the hallways compared to when your reputation was a bit, you know? It's all because I'm just that good of a right-hand man. I will admit that your intuitive and spontaneous eye was of some assistance when it came to identifying certain observations among abnormalities. This is the potentiality I was talking about, man. Same thing you saw in me when you decided to get me on board. Apologies for ruining the moment, but the next few years quickly and busily flew by without much trouble. Of course, we picked up ourselves a few more Department of the Year awards, some promotions, and some collaborative researches. Yet, all things must come to an end. The infamous fall of Lobotomy Corporation, for one. You... us. So, I don't suppose you have any trouble hazarding what they're all telling me, even as the words come out fragmented. You left us. Nothing but words of endless resentment. To those who don't know, when the Lobotomy Corporation main branch fell, like there were a whole bunch of like ordinary branches out there that basically collapsed in on themselves. I think we sort of explored that in Canto 1 a bit, and like all the different ruined LobCorp branches in like the other cantos. Anyone who didn't manage to get out in time was buried alive and would eventually die from starvation, dehydration, rampaging abnormalities that have escaped after the collapse, that sort of thing. So, people did survive, certainly, but a lot did not. You left us behind. All of the former L Corp. I remember what Miss Yuri told us. The site crumbled in an instant, trapping the employees in there with the abnormalities. But the game's gonna do it for me. I just wanted to talk to people. What is this sound? Whole structure is quaking. What the hell is... Initiating site burial in 100 seconds. Any remaining employees must immediately evacuate the structure. Counting down. 95. 94. The escape pods to the surface are here, but there's only one seat left. It's saying that the next one's in 5 minutes. Listen closely. At the risk of sounding rather callous, I must inform you that the chance of survival in cases of crises such as this are usually granted only to a very small minority of those affected. Some, who prioritize the fairness of the process, may settle on primitive methods, such as drawing lots to see who gets to escape. Yeah, no problem, Sophie. Thank you very much for stopping by. Hope you take care of yourself as well. And in more barbaric groups, the survivor would be decided by none other than the rule of might. However, I am glad to find myself among those who are on the side of intelligence. So, I make this suggestion before you. Compare yourselves, whose sole final purpose in life is clinging to your mediocre office jobs and making good on your debt payments. And me, who has produced several groundbreaking, epochal theses and research results at such an early age, whose life, in your eyes, is of greater worth. Yes, and that is how this tale ends. Compound collapsed 90 seconds later. I left the employees of my department behind and boarded the escape pod elevator and survived. How could you? Without even a hint of remorse. Wrath is a hideous emotion. I am here today only because I have always maintained a cold, rational head. And yeah, we've got the LobCorp first trumpet music playing. Sort of like a remixed version of that, which is nice. The LobCorp branch within Hohenheim's Dungeon of the Fathoms begins to crumble. Almost appeared as though his heart was crumbling as well. Well, now that's over with, I invite you to come face me, the distortion. And the experiment will come to an end. But just finding and defeating his distortion in a fight, I don't think that'll bring him back. I just know it. I agree. I'm still in deep waters here. This can't possibly be all there is to it. I don't know, I feel like he probably isn't as callous as he makes himself out to be. We see the Ardor Blossom moth within the containment unit. Small crimson particles of flame surround it like an aura. Flaming wings die out one moment, only to roar vigorously in the next. an incessant attempt to set fire to everything around it. What a beautiful specimen, this Arda Blossom Moth. Have you finished your observations? You've been learning a lot about the abnormality recently. It's a lot of unknowns, but still. Speaking of which, here's a pop quiz. What ego gift can you get from the Arda Blossom Moth? That's the Helterfly's Dream. That is the ego gift that you can get. Right on the money. You know your Arda Blossom Moth. But that's not all. Recently it's been giving out these things too. Take this with you. I'm just glad to have run into a kindred soul. You receive a burning, flickering flame. Seems to have come directly from the Arda Blossom Moth itself. Embers. Turn start all enemies with 2 to 7 burn count. Oh. With 2 to 7 burn count gain plus 1 to 2 burn count. When enemies take 5 hits from ally attack skills that inflict burn potency, trigger burn once, then reduce burn count by 1. Interesting. That'd be good for a burn team. Alright, here we go.
대부분 분야에서 저는 최고의 성능을 내는 AI지만
Alright.
응원은 조금 더 준비 시간이 필요합니다.
Got a few
공간의
Pacatulum over
영역은 잘 쓰지
here.
않았던 기능이라 일단 먼지를
I'm putting
털어내야
a
하거든요.
larger one here. Okay. So no one's targeting you, so you engage that one. Over here. Go for that one. Don't know if it's weak against it, but oh well. You go here. You go there. There and there. Looks good to me.
떨거지는 잘라낸다.
Should be good against you. Or not.
걷잡을 수 없어. 타워의 표본들 확인.
Damn it, Yoshi. Do better, please.
한 점만 노린다.
Oh, I think this guy's dead now. Yep, annihilated.
이외에 특별히 첨언할 이유도 없군.
여관에 가면 또 한참을 떠드시겠네. 바리에게 해줄 이야기가 또 늘었군요.
Alright. You there. There. Don't have any burn on yourself, at least, but... At 80+% missing, gain up to 30. Oh wow. Just burn yourself, huh? Alright.
직접 알게 한다.
Go with that.
유효타 좋아. 계속 집중하지.
안태님 봤어요?
폴린이 방금 뭘 본 것인가? 엄청나게 강한 일격을!
And I'll go with that.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
내 죄는 내가 알아서 처리한다.
Trying to hope to get the burn down a little bit. Avoid damaging Faust even more than she already is. Alright. Let's go up, shall we? Had a bit of a harder fight,
기다려라, 거태.
but generally the harder fights give
먹이를
you
먹여주지.
better rewards.
최선을 다해보지. 아이, 방금 벌레 말은 듣지 않다는 사람 누구야?
Alright, it's gonna have us fight both of these guys at once, is it? Well, we'll go over their observation details since we've haven't read these before. Thus gathered have the stones to raise a mountain. Yet where lies the green, its placement so rightful upon the mountains? Glacial cold permeates a corner of heart mine. Rocks are mired in the grasp of a red thing still. Unchanged are its motions, swinging and lashing the rocks with abandon, or casting them far away. Yet, the head that had once wavered so is visible no more. Nay, the stone is now rooted steadfast into the earth, and the rotund sphere has transfigurated into a deltoidal triangle. An accurate assessment would state as such, while the head remains still, the wavering has ceased. What stable form, what stalwart balance it has attained. Indeed, at the edge of change was evolution found for this entity. Yet even evolution is no deliverance from torpidity. The entity's tranquility, a consequence of electing immobility with stability, is no assiduity at all. I know not what movement shall it take at the end's end. Should its motion cease, so too shall it suspend its sentience. When, in the end, all comes to cease, it cannot be said any longer that it lives. How unideal, how odd. Such is all I have to say. And we have this one over here. The fluid sac has grown large on the previously observed insectoid entity with a translucent body. With the increased volume of internal fluid in this entity, it may be distinguished from the previously observed entities by the fact that the outline of its organs are no longer clearly visible. For the same aforementioned reason, it has been observed that using its internal fluid as a means of attack, proportionally speaking, no longer shrinks its reserves significantly. A new organ that connects its head to its back has been observed. It is reminiscent of scales, waves, or diaphanous veil. A new behavioral pattern has been observed in which it consumes an unknown substance from human brains via a passage that may be assumed to be an oral organ. It was speculated that the entity was using parts or blood of the said organ as nutrients, but such was not the case. However, increase in its internal fluid has been observed immediately after the consumption. The fluid filling its body cannot properly be defined within the confines of chemical compositions. On sight and on touch, the fluid has a distinctive property of strongly stimulating the memories of negative past events. Mental state that may be evaluated as negative has been continuing long after contact. It still remains unpleasant. Alrighty then. so this guy's going to be inflicting sinking upon us. Okay. Do that.
다가오지 마세요. 이 불꽃은 어디까지라도 번질 수 있으니.
That. Deal with that. Yeah, sure, let's do that.
떨거지는 잘라낸다. 두려움을 모르는 건
Okay.
나쁘지
Oh,
않습니다.
and sorry, we're at
좀
our ad
쉽게
break.
돌격하실 거라면
So we'll take a brief pause here and resume in a few minutes, alright? At which point we will continue with this battle. All right. Alright then, we have returned. Let's get into the action, shall we? Alright, so we probably want to keep on blocking you where we can. No, you're actually in a reasonably good spot to be like putting burn on this
아무
guy.
의미 없는 정적을 감지했습니다. 이런 썰렁한 분위기를 해소하기 위해 제가 알고 있는 농담 중 가장 약한 걸 하나 선보이죠. 새우가 출연하는 사극은 대하사극.
do that. Offset that for me. You there. There. And keep offsetting that, please. Okay. Go. Hooray for professional development days where you sit on Zoom all day. The Limbus companying is going great. I'm glad you're able to like hopefully have like a actual day because of that.
동감이야, 피에라.
Always good to avoid like real work, right? Okay, let's increase your burn, shall we? Deal some more damage to you. Okay, you got no defense going on now. Okay. Well, yeah, so far it's going good. We're almost at the end of the event, at least. Always a major upside not having to go in. Oh, everyone's going after you, huh? Oh, all right. That's actually a little bit annoying. That means... Let's just see how your defenses go, I guess. Alright. Let's see. Oh, none of you like that. Could be. It is... And for this. There we go. I do like their designs though. Like the stage 3s look great. A bit more burn on you. Go for that one.
대가리 딱 떼도
Alright, big bullet.
한 점만 노린다.
Even with your stupid resistances.
걷잡을 수 없이 타올라.
자, 테디, 나를 따라해 보는 거야. 짜잔.
I think this one might be going down.
효율적인 대처로
just off.
기치를 꿰뚫었습니다. 참고로 기계는 입에 박은
There we go.
말 따위 쉽게 하지 않아요.
역전이라는 단어는 좋아하는
Oh, you got
역전 같은
despite
소리
being
다
staggered?
뒤질 뻔하다가 겨우 살아나갔는데 항상
Oh well.
마지막에 이겼으면 된 거야.
Over here, we are going to try and pull up some of that burn, I guess. Hopefully, maybe. We'll see.
직접 알게 하리라.
Land!
맞는 거야.
승객이 딱콩 한 방 먹였어.
Alright. Over here. At the end of this hallway, a group of researchers is having a discussion in front of an unnaturally dark place. Noticing our presence, their faces brighten up as they approach us. Please, will you investigate this area ahead of us? We will help with the best of our abilities should you accept. Yeah, sure. Heal all allies and gain a gift if we succeed, which we should. Especially considering... Oh, just barely off, huh? Fair enough. There we go. I love to see some proper enthusiasm. Yes, I like your attitude. Take this with you. It'll help you in your investigations. After handing us the gear, the researchers walked up to the sinners and began examining them. Once they were finished, the sinners were all in tip-top shape again. All allies healed, and
자, 되냐?
operations
저한테
gear.
이런 거 시키지 좀 마라.
What's this? Limbus Company Identities. Skill 2 gains offense level +1 and +15 more damage. Skill 3 offense level 2, 30% more damage. And there are 4+ Limbus Company Identities among the backup units. 2 random allies gain 2 offense level up at start of combat. Interesting. We've only got 2, I think. You can sort of see over here Limbus Company, for example, but everyone else is going to be like W Corp. He's going to be Limbus Company. But yeah, none of these would be. You'd be Lobotomy Corp, not Limbus. Alright. Let's go, shall we?
시험해볼 기회구려.
We arrived at the entrance to Hohenheim's laboratory. This may be my final order to you. Either suppress me and return safe and sound to where you came from, or fail the suppression, place me in a containment unit, and perhaps we can observe what happens next. He is remarkably lucid. That's when Heathcliff suddenly strode forward. Hohenheim, you still believe in that potentiality? I do. What keeps me going? You only hire researchers from the back streets, don't you? I heard from him earlier. They told me that you're a right pompous bloke, but thanks to you, they continue to research and believe that there might be things in the world that's worth working toward.
와, 저기 봐. 재료들이 걸어다니고 있네.
쟤들이 다 해치우면 편하게 들고 올 수 있겠어.
Alright, so he starts off with poise. Don't have his observation log. It's Hohenheim! It's Hohenheim, Kurabachi! He's distorted because of his experiments, and we need to suppress him. So his panic type is Anguish. Yeah, losing clashes will decrease his sanity. We're not killing him. We're turning him back into a human, ideally. Alright, so apply 1 subject of observation on all enemies, and then gain poise, potency, and count equal to the number of units with subject of observation. So, gain 3 stacks, starting from the turn after this unit gained this effect. 1 stack every time this unit takes or deals damage with an attack skill effect against distorted Hohenheim. Take stack % more damage from enemies. Deal stack % more damage, but on hit, take stack of the damage dealt as HP damage. Ooh, alright. Sounds like we're on a bit of a time limit. We'll have to see how things go. For every 10 subject of observation on the target, inflict +1 more tremor and count. Yeah, okay. So on establish hypothesis, on turn 3, gain a new pattern and use a powerful skill. After turn 3 is over, above effect activates when this unit has 30 plus poise count at turn end. This unit did not take any HP damage during the preparation period before using this powerful skill. Greatly enhance the skill. Does not count damage taken by shield HP. Alright. Adaptation. Gain 1 poise every time this unit inflicts damage with attack skill. Additional for more observation. Got another one over there. And yet 4 count as well. Isang, I can promise you my ally wasn't there when I was aiming at the enemies. He purposely went into my bullet, okay? I don't actually have Isang's Fell Bullet. I do have Magic Bullet Otis, both ID and Ego, but she shoots herself with the Ego. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. There you go anyway, Gutter. Alright, so we don't know what this one is yet. Turn start. Gain shield equal to 30% of missing HP, but it cannot exceed 15% of max HP. If this unit has burn, lose burn count times 1.5 shield HP, and more damage from rupture effects because of the event, right? If shield is gained due to this effect is destroyed, for the rest of this encounter, gain 1 defense level down for every instance the shield has been destroyed. Siphon 10 SP from targets with higher SP than this unit. Max 3 in descending order of SP cannot stack on the same target. Alright. On the one that's of 7th bullet. Adno is Curse Shooter. Yeah. It is the aberration of Magic Bullet, after all. Yeah. Reset. Okay. Let's go, shall we? Let's see what your attacks are like, though. Final power based on poise. Yeah. And gain poise. Okay. Do that. Your SP, a little bit of a dip. There. Hold on to that one. Let's go. Oh, that was a little bit close. There we go. That gets your SP up.
늦으면 내 피랑 먼저 갈 거야.
Alright. Yep, so you've got your shield. And alright. Conduct analysis. At 10 poise potency, consume it to gain +2 final power for every 3 consumed. Alright. On hit, target. Yep, alright. Poise potency is 10, so your final power will go up by 3. Oh, no, not by 3. Hey, headshot's still fine. Headshot is still fine. There. 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 Alright. Should be okay. Go.
사격 개시.
Okay, shield is broken. That's going to reduce your defenses permanently, I believe. Keep on bashing this guy down.
살코기 바를 땐 칼을, 뼈를 자를 땐 톱이지.
동감이야, 피해라.
Alright. What's your prep phase? If this unit did not take any... Yeah, okay, so we need to damage this guy. Hey there, Zayla. Yep, got a new model. This game is called Limbus Company. And what we are is we're essentially a small organization of people who exist in a cyberpunk-style universe, and we there's like 2 objectives. We track down what's known as the Golden Vows, which essentially sort of have like the collective unconsciousness of humanity as part of their energy, and also take down distortions, which like emerge from people in their darkest moments, essentially. All of our characters are based on literary figures. For example, we've got Heathcliff over here, who is based on Heathcliff from Wuthering Heights. We have Faust from the whole sort of like Faustian bargain sort of thing. Cyberpunk with an SCP twist. Yeah, that's a good way to sort of describe it. Absolutely. It's possible you might have heard about the other games in the series, Lobotomy Corporation, where you actually are like managing an SCP facility, and Library of Ruiner, which takes place immediately after Lobotomy Corporation. Yeah, you know of that game? Okay, cool. Anyway, we need to break through this guy's shield. So let's go. You know this guy's weaknesses at all? He's weak to red. I suppose the nerd is vulnerable to red, right? Okay. Yellow and blue. Go with that.
운이 따라준다면 좋겠네요.
Okay, shield is broken, so the attack that he's going to do next phase is going to be weakened.
내 바로 적을 다 밀어버리는 놈이 있었지.
오, 적합한 판단이었어.
덮어놓고 공격하는 것보단
Okay, trigger extinction sequence. Let's see what this is. Yeah, that's a relief. Only 2+2 is fine, but let's keep reading, shall we? Consume half a poise potency and count. Gain it as final power. Yeah, there we go. And more damage. Lose reduce remaining by half. If user took no damage last turn, guarantees crit. User took HP damage last turn, does not crit, instead deals 80% less damage. Okay, cool. Alright. You're enjoying Cyber Knight's Flashpoints. Cyberpunk XCOM style game. Still in early access. Alright. I might look it up. There's another Cyberpunk XCOM style game out there that's sort of like more developed called Troubleshooter. I'll write that over here. I haven't sort of like played a lot of it, but what I did play of it was quite cool. It's probably a lot more finished now versus before. But that's got another sort of like Cyberpunk XCOM style to it. How's that going? Oh, that's fully released now. Lovely. I should look back into it. Oh boy. Okay, yeah, we're not... Oh, maybe? I don't know. We'll find out, I guess. This is going to be an unbreakable coin. Friend bought it for me for a Christmas gift, but has had like... Alright, that's a lot of updates. Nice. I'm just gonna take note of that one for myself anyway. Okay. I'm just gonna add that to my wish list. Sleep well, Kurobachi, by the way. Okay, let's see how that calculates.
배가 딱 되고
Damn it! That's a freaking roll low. God damn it, Heathcliff.
재밌네요.
You have one job. Roll heads. What plagues your mind, manager? Your suppression efforts seem to be smooth sailing. It is exactly as you have seen, manager, save for a few parts that were censored. I concealed nothing from your view. Yeah. I rolled poorly. I rolled poorly, he rolled fine, so I lost that conflict. If I had rolled better, we've gotten the attack on him and he would have done less damage. He still would have gotten the attack off, but it would have been greatly reduced. I don't believe I have committed any wrong by escaping that place alone, leaving the others to be buried there. Of course, it may be reprehensible from a moral standpoint, but why would anyone ever look at it from that perspective, manager? Especially when you are well aware that, in the city, such a perspective is entirely irrelevant and worthless. Yes, troubleshooter, abandoned children. That's a cyberpunk XCOM-like game. You sort of got named characters in that, similar to Chimera Squad, I guess. But they've got more personality and all that. It seems to be following a bigger story. I could feel his gaze on me. Like he said, the suppression is going well. Feels wrong. That it shouldn't end like this. What should I tell him? What is Hohenheim trying to hide from us? Okay. We can weaken one of his passives here. What if you do feel like what you did was wrong, you're running away from something, there's another side to that story you've told me. I might weaken his SP passive. This one is annoying, like draining the SP of my characters. Yeah, there is another side to the story you've told me. Just relayed my words to Hohenheim. Another side to the story, is it? Indeed. Is quite feasible. You are correct. That another side is what oft gets lost in the process of obsessing over specious concepts like the fathoms and the heart. Speaking from a consequential point of view, perspective provided by one's memory is narrow by nature. Even in the fathoms, the deepest part of one's heart, where many believe lies nothing, the empirical, absolute truth, we are still capable of lying. Fascinating, isn't it? They call it metacognitive error. Some call it unconscious bias as well. I see. You argue that the story I have shown you was simply a fabrication. Indeed. I have not shared any perspectives from my employees. But there is no way by which we may verify them anyway. Isn't it obvious why that is? They're all buried underground, grieved even of their final words. I could finally understand, at least to a degree, what Virgilius and Don Quixote have been telling me. Though there was nothing to call a human face remaining in his distorted form, I think I caught a glimpse of loneliness from Hohenheim's expression. Yep, so confirmation bias is now self-doubt. Oh, sorry about that. Let me, no one else was complaining about the volume, so I'll turn that down for you. Becoming self-doubt.
뭐야 화이팅이다.
Alright, so self-doubt here. Lose 15 SP at turn start, but siphon 5 SP from characters. Okay, yeah, this is much preferable to confirmation bias. Okay. Do not want to ruin other people's fun. Well, fair enough. I'll put it back up if you say that. But yeah, like I do urge people to speak up if things are too loud or too quiet. All right, so let's go. Go here. Yeah, no problem, Zayla. Oh, for neutral. That's even worse. Alright. Here we go. Good crit. Slowly getting the burn up, despite you being the only burn character we've got.
잭, 칼은 다 갈아놨지?
준비 완료.
Oh, it's not 1,428. Okay. Alright, so we need to take you down. Put that. That. Drawn by flame, and that. There we go.
해체어가 진행하겠습니다.
한 점만 노린다.
Almost cracked the shield entirely on its own.
up. 무얼 잘못했는지
Good amount of damage there.
시작이랬어.
잭,
Alright.
칼은 다 갈아놨지?
So here comes your big attack. I just fluid set. Do we have something a bit more reliable? Not that. Anything? Not that. Dimension Shredder's pretty good. Yeah, let's go with that one. That's got a 22-28. Hey, Apharesia? How you going? We've almost checked out. We just have to beat this guy, then I think we get to check out at long last. Alright, let's go... There... There... Yeah, almost 3 hours. We're going good. Alright.
직접
Move in.
알게 합니다.
Co-worker's going fine right now. It's all good.
다음 세상으로 넘어가려면 자 여기구나.
Yeah, Hohenheim's feeling a little bit sad. Ooh, someone took a bit of a hit there.
먼저 빠진다.
It seems that there is something else you would like to tell me. Very well, you may go ahead and ask. I am prepared to answer any of your questions. Yeah, I can feel Hohenheim's gaze lingering on me. What should I say this time? What is Hohenheim trying to hide from us? Alright, let's weaken the shield. We can do a whole lot more damage if his shield is weakened. This poor man does not deserve that voice. With the nerd voice. You're running away from something. Just relayed my words to Hohenheim. Running away. An interesting point. But allow me to retort. My choice was not to run away. To deny and evade what has happened is too pathological a choice, isn't it? Went to a complete standstill on a few tests you were doing due to it. Yeah, the shield is quite strong. I'm getting through it, like even without doing this, but it's definitely reducing my damage a whole lot. I am very well aware that it is the only way to solve a problem. I'm very well aware that the only way to solve a problem is to face it head-on. Which is another aspect of myself that sets me apart from the common man. When an issue arrives, or in very rare cases, were I to find myself in a tumult of emotional nature, I first attempt to establish a logical explanation. Would you have preferred a Farnsworth voice rather than Professor Frink? Good news, everyone! When an issue arises, or in a very rare cases, I reconstruct what was perceived and regulate my emotions. Expressing fury and anger is a plain waste of resources. But I must admit one thing. Now that I have conducted some level of cold introspection, I will admit that it wasn't entirely mature of me to censor so much of my fathoms. Of course, this does not mean that I will now remove the sense of memories. My ego is not so feeble as to be shaken by a few words. The only way to solve a problem is to face it head on. Actually, I didn't really understand most of what Hohenheim was talking about, but I can't shake this thought that everything he's been saying was just an effort to distance himself from his own emotions. Yeah, so inadequate defense mechanism.
상태가 좋지 않은 직원이 보입니다.
There's shield went down a whole lot there.
치명상을 입을 수도 있겠군요. 관리자님의 냉철한 판단력이
Yeah, so
필요할 때입니다.
15%, and I see 5% of max HP. Burn reduces it by even more. Not that I've got any rupture. Oh, and his defense level is down by 10 now instead of 5. I mean, some of the other ones were more creative, right? We had a confirmation bias that turned into self-doubt. Oh, Faust is burning up. I can fix this. Opposed? God damn it. Be faster, Faust. Before I do that... Okay, fish mail. One. Now go there. And there.
떨거지는 잘라낸다.
I think I'm gonna stack at him here.
기도해라. 약점을 잘 노리셨습니다. 이제 해결사의 전투법도 익숙해지셨네요.
자, 테디. 나를 따라해 보는 거야.
Hey there, Apollo! How you going? I did recently max out a burn team. I happened to get the Philip Sinclair from the dispenser, and I've got a whole bunch of Lu available. Well, I still need Roger Lu, and I wouldn't mind. This one's just a support Rodion. Support Faust. So I don't actually have Ardor Blossom Faust, so.
도구 선정이 이상한데.
저러다 칼날만 나 같은데.
내가 찾은
People were spamming it, so I made it higher. See? I know what people want.
자, 동료들이여. 자세를 갖추고 저들을 맞이하세. 우리를 가로막는 저 시련을 해치우고.
It's alright, if you stick around you can get more of it, right? And I drink on my own. I'm fairly good at drinking on my own. I'll have a drink now for you, alright? I'll redeem it for you. There we go. Alright. Do that. Oh, you're at 30. I need... If I actually do get your thing, I'll use it for the sake of finding out what it's all about. Your purpose. As long as you got a purpose, right? Go.
떨거지는 잘라낸다.
Would you pass the butter, please?
날 이해하는 정말 감동적이지 않을 수 없네. 해결사 영웅기에 이런 구절이 있었지.
역전이라는 단어는
It bounces so ready to
역전
burn.
같은 소리 다 뒤질 뻔하다가 겨우 살아나갔는데 항상.
마지막에 이겼으면 된 거야.
That's not even gonna...
썰거지는 잘라낸다.
써주마.
이런 건 몽둥이가 약이지.
맞는 거야.
두드려 패.
All out attack indeed. There we go. Victory! Victory! The escape pods to the surface are here. There's only one seat left. It's saying that the next one's in 5 minutes. Look, I don't actually believe that you hired me because you saw my potential or something like that. But I want to believe that you found the hope and potentialities because of me. A hope, an anticipation that we can make things as long as we keep at it. I can't leave you all behind. I just can't save my skin without... Not without... everyone. This is what a right-hand man does, isn't it? Take my potentiality you found and rise. Take it with you to the surface. But you, Johan, what about you? Well, maybe next time. Some other time. Wrath is a hideous emotion. That is why I did nothing at the entrance of that branch. Only remembering, nothing more. Remembering the ones I've left behind. I can sense the dungeon of the Fathoms slowly beginning to close. Sometime later. Ah! I've returned! Safe and sound! Welcome back, boss. To be frank, I once wished to be someone like yourself, Heathcliff. What are you talking about? We don't want Heathcliff to be like Heathcliff. Oh, Ishmael. Because it's not easy to put my faith not in games of numbers, but in those slimmest potentialities of the world and continue to exist. I know it's not very befitting a researcher to be so, but it is quite the romantic attitude for a human to embody, is it not? Well, the experiment is over. It was a huge success, all thanks to us, right? No. It was a failure. I had established this hypothesis that the sole answer was to hold a firm belief in the self and nothing else. Had my hypothesis been correct, I would have remained a distortion. Thus, I would like to extend my gratitude to all of you. Thank you for making me fail. It seems that the classification for my distortion was HE5SU. Disappointingly mediocre, but I don't suppose it can be helped. The world is a place where we must find the ray of potentiality among the mediocre, after all. Let us move on now. Mephistopheles is prepared to depart. Hohenheim's researchers waved at us. We'll meet again, right? You. No, thank you. Everything has an end. So, do consider this to be our final meeting. Down to the last exchange, this guy. The last thing we saw before the portal activated were the LCE researchers pushing up their glasses in our general direction. Though I'd only taken a step or two, the entire world around us seemed to transform, leading us back inside the transportation instrument. Now that I think about it, we didn't even get to learn why Gregor's bones made those cracking noises. All we learned from this experience is that the sinners have all become mediocre, but they each held certain potentialities within themselves. Each of us mulling over the events at the LCE, we returned to the bus where Carol and Virgilius were waiting for us. Gregor is potential man.
일고 동화율 정상. 개체의 행동 패턴 추출 완료. 이 정도 성과라면 다음 연구로 이어나갈 수 있겠군요.
And there we go. There's our reward from that. And with that, I think it is time to wrap things up for the night. We finished the event. I don't. Is it like a hard mode for that after? No. Well, let's just grab those, shall we? Don't forget to grab those. That's important. No hard mode. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So we will wrap things up there. And hopefully that was something that everyone enjoyed. We will come back to Limbus once there is more content for it, so don't worry about that. I might go over and do some of the story stuff for it at some point in the future. The cantos that I haven't streamed yet. I've done them off stream, but if people are interested, I'll do that. I sort of feel like going over them again anyway. Yeah. As for what we're doing for the rest of the week, I'm not doing anything on any of the weekdays because work is going to be fairly busy this week, and I sort of want to just take that time to relax. But on the weekend, we will be playing some Super Robot Wars X, so look forward to that, everyone. Okay? I will also try and see if I can get my schedule to line up with Misaki and Alm so that we can continue some Dokapon Kingdom. We were going to do that today if possible, but schedules didn't quite sort of like line up, unfortunately. So, let's go and raid someone, shall we? And hang on. I see someone streaming Library of Ruiner, so let's go over there, shall we? Ayakawa Hikari is doing some Library of Ruiner. So let's go on over there, shall we? Alrighty then. So, thank you very much as always, and I hope to see you all next time. Okay? See ya!